Hey there, so when you first look at the IELTS Task 1 chart, you need to be able to see the small details, but you also need to be able to see the big picture. This is known as the main trend, and we're going to take a look at it today. Hey there, Anthony Schultz from Gold Coast IELTS, where I help you pimp your IELTS Task 1 and Task 2 essays. So guys, today we're going to look at the main trend of the IELTS Task 1 essay. When you first look at that chart, you need to be able to pick out the big picture trend, and we're going to put that straight into the introduction in the second sentence. Also guys, if you get value from this video, hit the like button because that does motivate me to make more IELTS writing videos. Also, smash subscribe and get the notifications so you don't miss my latest IELTS writing tips. As always guys, at the end of the video there will be a bonus, so stick around to the end. Let's get started. Okay guys, so here we are in Google Slides. Let's look at the IELTS Task 1 key trend. You may get a chart like this where it's really easy to see the key trend. The key trend in this first chart is simply an upward trend. But what if you get a chart like this with all these crazy lines going everywhere? It's really difficult to see the key trend. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So how do we write the key trend? Okay guys, so it's going to be inside the introduction, and the key trend sentence is going to be the second sentence of our introduction. The first sentence, I already made a video about that, is the paraphrase of the chart title. So let's go right ahead, check out how we can make the key trend sentence for some different kinds of IELTS tasks. So here's the language you need to use to make the key trend sentence. There are two steps to doing it. The first step is to say something like, overall, we can see that, or in general, it can be seen that. The second step is to describe the key trend using your own language. And you want to put that second step right there where you can see those three dots. So here's a pie chart, and I think this is from another video I made, but it is quite complicated. How can we find the key trend? So if this was me, I would look at the chart, and the first thing that I would see is orange, blue, and red are really big. Blue, purple, green are really small. So orange, blue, red, that's about 75% of the total, and blue, purple, green, that's just over 25%. So I would probably make a sentence, a key trend sentence like this. Overall, it can be seen that three expenses account for nearly 75% of the total expenditure. You want to keep the key trend really simple. Don't forget, this is the big picture. This is not a small detail. Okay, next one, here's a bar chart. So if I look at this bar chart, the first thing I see is food, housing, transportation. These are pretty big expenditures. Healthcare, clothing, these are pretty small expenditures. So I would say something like, overall, it can be seen that the three largest expenditures generally show much more importance than the smallest two. Let's move on to a line chart. Very complicated, but not really if you look at it closely. You can see honey and edible syrups are very small and they don't change, but refined cane and beet sugars and corn sweeteners from about 1984 or 1983, they are both very popular. So I would say something like this. Overall, it can be seen that for most of the period, two of the sweeteners remained much more popular than the other two. Let's move on to a process chart. What can you say about this? For me, I love to make a sentence like this for a process chart. In general, we can see that this is an extremely complicated procedure that makes use of technology. And last one, sorry, maybe there are two more. Table chart. Let's look at this table chart. It does look very complicated, but if you look closely, you will see that there are only two schools, School A, School B. Again, School A, School B. So for our key trend sentence, we only want to compare those two things. So what's the difference? School A looks like it has many more problems than School B in 2005, and the same thing in 2015 again. So here's a great key trend sentence. In general, it can be seen that School A has had a lot more children who had problems learning than School B. Last one, map chart. Basically the change or the key trend here is that everything has changed. So let's say something like, in general, it can be seen that the entire complex underwent a huge redevelopment program. So guys, that's how you make a key trend sentence, which is the second sentence of the introduction. I hope you got some value from the video. See you in the next one.